and in this industry, going through hard times is what gets us together. Is what you have in common with all of these big shots that are making millions. In the end, they're just human beings, just like you. And you can go up to them and ask them any question you want about this topic because they've been there. And if they haven't, they're damn lucky to be in the positions they are. The CEOs, the executives, the lead developers, they've all come there because of adversity. Because they make mistakes, they fell, and they got up again. It's the strongest thing. The thing that makes you the strongest is adversity. Embrace adversity because it's part of life. It's part of what makes you a good person, a strong person. That's why I'm standing here in front of you, and I'm not somewhere, my bones aren't scattered somewhere in a cliff in Cambodia being eaten by a tiger right now. Which I did consider repeatedly. But luckily I had people around me that made me realize I wasn't alone in that struggle. What I always tell people is, ask 3 questions. You can, just 3 questions. Write them down, make them good, don't make them general, don't make it about something you can Google, and send them. Dear Mr. Molyneux, my name is Peter. I'm a 2nd-year student at Kajaani. I've been following your work and you've been an inspiration to me. I was wondering if you could answer these 3 questions. Question 1, question 2, question 3. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and I look forward to meeting you in person someday and showing you my game. Best regards, Peter from Kajaani. Has anybody done this? 2 people. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about game development, because that's actually what you guys are also doing. What are like the biggest challenges that you guys are facing right now with your games? Shoot.
Getting them up to par with the rest of the market, like the competitors.
Up to par rest of the market. Okay, I see. Let's say you have a 6-month project and you wouldn't have classes. How much time would you spend on polishing your game? Who would spend 1 month? Raise your hand. No, wait. Who would spend 5 out of 6 months? Raise your hand. Who would spend 4 out of 6 months? Who would spend 3 out of 6 months? Who would spend 2 out of 6 months? And who would spend 1 out of 6 months? Who do you think is going to have the most polished game? The 5 months guy. Who knows Super Hexagon? Who knows how successful that game is? Incredibly. That game was made in 48 hours, was polished in a month, and was released. 48 hours, polished in a month, was released and is highly successful. 48 hours, 30 days. 2 days, 30 days of polish. Go.
Take in consideration though that you can't have too much polish. Then you don't use your time as well as you could. You can make a better game and then polish on that.
Very good point. So the question is, what do you spend the polish time on? Not just graphics, physics, controls, testing. Another question. How much time do you guys, on a project of 6 months, no classes, would spend on testing? 5 out of 6 months. 4 out of 6 months. 3 out of 6 months. 2. 1. Nobody would use 1 month. See, it's the same thing. You can start testing your game from day 1. You can have friends, girlfriends, pets, I don't care. Play your game from day 1. The only thing you have to do is you have to make these processes so you don't waste time. Who knows what MED stands for? Minimal effective dose. It's how I live my life. I suggest you look at it in the same way with these kind of side things. Yes, testing is not part of game development. Yes, PR and marketing are not part of game development. Yes, polish is, I just want to make this game. But these are all elements that you can turn into a process, that you can make work for you. The minimal effective dose method that I apply in my life goes to everything. How do I exercise the least amount of time and get the most results? How do I eat as healthy as possible, even though I still like a burrito and a bagel, and still get the most results? How do I have the shortest date with a girl and still make sure she calls me back? How do I speak at a conference to someone for just a couple of minutes and make sure that I create a relationship and a bond with this person so he will remember me at the next conference in 3 months? Minimal effective dose. How do I set up a structure that I can have my game be tested by other people that only takes me a few minutes a week to get hours of testing results? There's all these different kind of solutions. And you guys need to use your creative strength to make it easier on yourself. There are templates about QA testing online that you can use, that you can customize. You spend 1 hour customizing them for your projects, and you just send them out. I'm managing editor of GameSauce.org. We are an industry website. We do contributions, we do postmortems, we do all kinds of stuff. Studio spotlights. I set up this website on my own. I was expected to write at least 1 article a day, and I am not a journalist. So I thought, okay, how can I make this useful? How can I make this, how can I turn this into a process for myself? What I did is I made guides. I made specific 2-page guides that explain to people, okay, if you want to write a postmortem, this is what your postmortem structure should be. This is what is in there, and I sent it off. I've reduced my production time for a postmortem from 3 hours to half an hour. If everything worked out and they didn't take months to send me the pictures and the postmortem, which they sometimes do. But in the end, in total, I reduced my time by
1/4.
Exactly. No, that's not true. 3 hours is 180 minutes. 30, that means that
1/6.
exactly 1/6. So I reduced it to 1/6 of the time. Who has done this with any kind of game development process in their assignments? Tell me about it.
We've been, at least with this project we're currently going through, we've been optimizing the processes constantly. We've been keeping like...
Have you documented this?
Yeah, there's documentation of it at some level.
Who would like to read what they did? Raise your hand. Put it on the wiki.
Yep.
So, do you guys understand what I'm saying here? There is no limitation to creating a project that includes testing, polish, and even PR and marketing. But you have to make sure that it's worth your while. When I started my first talk here, who has seen my lectures from 2011? Who reads books on psychology? Why do you read them? I know why you read them. Why do you guys read them?
Well, I'm interested on the consumer behavior and psychology as general.
Why are you interested in consumer behavior?
Well, I don't know. I have always had interest to how to get people buy something, how to get more value from the product without making it in the game. I mean, it's just interesting how the psychology works.
We are making interactive entertainment. We are making stuff because we want to touch people in an emotional way, the same way we were touched in an emotional way when we played Monkey Island for the first time, or when we played Journey, or Flow, or Flower, or I don't know, Quake or Counter-Strike. We were furious, we were angry, we had our heart beating, we had our blood pumping, we had our sweat pouring. We were screaming, flaming, because someone took the golem in League of Legends instead of us. And that's the kind of game we will make. How do we make those games? By understanding ourselves, first of all, and by understanding the people we want to make it for. Knowing our audience. And knowing our audience, for you guys most often, means knowing yourself. Because you're making games you want to play. And I applaud that. Because nowadays that's possible. Look at World of Tanks. They cater to a very, very niche audience. People thought they were crazy, that wargaming was crazy to do that. Well, guess what? If 1 in 100 people likes tanks in this world, I guess in Finland there's a lot more of those, because you guys all have to go to the army. So. Then that means that in 6 billion, or 7 billion I think we're at right now, people on this planet, 1% of 7 billion people will give you a very, very nice retirement. So, do you guys get my point?
Yeah.